So a new trading week is underway, which will hopefully offer me more opportunities to enter from, and hopefully again will manage to hit full take profit so I can end off the week in the green. So let's jump straight into it. So on Monday, after seeing the Asian and London session forming a sort of downtrend, I was actually bearish this time, looking for a bounce of some highs for continuation lower. But I quickly realized after market open that my bias was wrong, since it got almost immediately invalidated after price smashed through every hourly high or 4 hour high that I had marked out. And even if I would have been bullish, I still wouldn't have managed to catch any entry, since even so, I would have liked a sweep of some lows, then a continuation higher. But that didn't come, neither that or my bearish entry, so I didn't take any trade for today. On Tuesday, I was bullish since we were coming from the big push made on Monday, which got us past all time highs. And obviously, I wasn't going to try and short all time highs since I found out by my own hand that that's not the best thing to do. We were accumulating in London and in Asian and London session, and I would have liked to catch manipulation below London lows and maybe enter the C of this hourly fair value gap, and then a distribution upwards past all time highs. It was promising for quite a bit after New York Open, since we hadn't closed below this hourly fair value gap, but we sort of went sideways from here, and by the time an entry opportunity maybe appeared, like at this point, after a reaction from the order block retracement, the Powell speech was soon to come, like half an hour later, and I wasn't interested in entering right before that. But even so, these reaction candles didn't close out of the order block, and even if the Powell speech wasn't soon, wouldn't have been soon, I probably still wouldn't have entered there. And it's good that I didn't enter, since you can see price just fell down. So another day where my bias got invalidated. Hopefully tomorrow I get my bias right for the first time this week and maybe even catch trade. Wednesday yet again was another no trade day for me, since my bias was bearish, and you can clearly see that we ended up closing really bearish for the day. I would have preferred to be able to catch an entry following a sweep of any of these lows, London, Asian, or previous day, but even though they were swept, good reaction from those didn't come, or at least not good enough for me. We swept Asian lows soon after market open, then sort of chopped down until we hit previous day lows, and we had a small reaction from those, being a breakout structure on the 5 minute. But from there, it just plummeted down even further, and I didn't catch any entry, since at this point I wasn't set. I wouldn't have liked to just FOMO in to not miss the dump. So yeah, yet again another day of no trades. On Thursday, I actually took a trade this time, but unfortunately, it was a short trade, short entry, and short lived. I was bearish for a day after the two previous days where he continued to dump, and I would have liked to for price to reach these FOMC lows. This was actually the first time I've taken a trade live based on my continuation setup, besides backtesting, since I've backtested it quite a few times. And yeah, I saw market push down as New York opened, making these 5 minute fair value gaps, and I entered after we retraced into the C of this and closed below it for a nice reaction off of it. But unfortunately, I got stopped out within 15 minutes, which makes this trade my first trade of the week and the first loss. On Friday, I unfortunately took another unsuccessful trade. I was bullish coming into the day after seeing this sort of uptrend being made in Asian and London session. And before market open, I marked out these data lows made 1 hour before open and these session lows, which had made the bullish SMT with ES. So market opened and immediately price came down and took these data lows. And after seeing this 5 minute break of structure, a retracement into the order block and a candle closure outside of the order block to confirm intent, I entered with a long with my stops just below. These were 15-minute lows right here. So it looked good for a bit at 5 p.m. or 10 a.m. for New York session. News released and price came up a bit. I would have liked to have moved stops to break even after price, if price would have taken these London highs like it did on ES, but unfortunately that didn't happen. And soon after news came out and pushed a bit higher, it plummeted down to stop me out. There would have been another opportunity right here, since as you can see, market comes down and takes London lows, breaks 5 minute structure with this, and if you were to enter here with stops just below these lows and targeting this place, you would have managed to catch a good trade. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to since I had already taken an earlier entry and my plan says to only take 1 trade per day. So after this trade failed, I closed TradingView and didn't look at price again. So yeah, unfortunately, two losses for the week. So in summary, I ended up taking two trades this week, and sadly, both were losses. Clearly, it was a bias problem this week. Throughout the whole week, I struggled to find the correct bias, and I practically didn't manage to get the right one at all. So that's a thing I'm definitely going to look forward to improving on and hopefully get it right next week.